The next item on the agenda is to consider approval to purchase door chimes and alarm system at the Career Center. These are requirements for the Child Support Office, which, Lisa, you want to talk about that a little bit maybe?
I just talked with, I just mentioned Terry and Stanley. You know, we are looking to obviously be moving there at the office, and when you're in those back rooms, you cannot hear, and so we just would need something so that we could hear when you're back there for security reasons. And we have our own system that we have to sign people in because of the security of our program. So we just talked to him about if we could get some sort of our own security system, because we can't use Martha to sign our people in because of the confidentiality of the program. So he priced the systems, because there was only, I think, just some sort of door hanger on there that you could not hear. So that he got that system so that you could hear, because when you're all the way back in that back office, if she was meeting with some person, you cannot hear somebody come in. And on Fridays, we are there every day. There's not even any personnel there, so she would not even be able to hear somebody entering in.
Y'all have, is it like, have to be let in, or is it locked, or they can walk in, you just need to know when they come in?
We would need to know when somebody's in, and
You know, I mean, or,
no, we would just need to know somebody is there.
yeah.
Just for security reasons, and they cannot have access to any of our information, because it's all security tax information, and we have a lot of information that nobody can get. We're supposed to have a 2-tier process before anybody can be allowed to see anything, so we have to have them wait until we can actually see them.
Do they have, doesn't he have any cameras up there at all, or?
I think there are cameras in part of the building.
I was thinking he did. I didn't know if he had one like at the front door, so you could physically see, or I don't know how that's all set
Yeah,
up.
I mean, so we couldn't view it, I don't think.
Not now. I didn't know if he could put one back there. I didn't know.
But I think the alarm would help a lot, because that would at
Yeah.
least caution her, let her know if somebody's entering the building, because before there was that thing that she would.
Friday, you said?
Yeah, and then, through something, we know that somebody's entering the building.
That's what that is. There's an estimate from DCS alarm.
Yeah.
Stanley got
You said
that.
that is a requirement that child support
Yeah.
makes us do, so.
We need a motion on that,
We do.
motion to accept the bid for the security system at the,
Second.
Ms. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Conlon?
yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Lisa, when are y'all moving in there, for sure? Or?
In the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
They haven't let me know for sure when they're supposed to be wiring in the next couple of weeks, so, they'll let me know at the last minute, so.
Are any of you guys up there anytime now, or I was just wondering if you need to, I can show you I know where a lot of the
She's
data.
supposed to call me. She told me like 2 weeks ago, between 1 and 3 weeks, so you know how that is. They'll call me the last minute.
It's wired, it's maybe not hooked up because it just goes back to that room. But if y'all need your own network, you could use what's already there for some of your stuff. I don't know what else you gotta have, but.
Yeah, when she calls me, I'll let you know. She's supposed to be calling me. But you know how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call you as soon as she lets me know.
Lisa. The next item is to consider approval of budget transfer in the amount of $150,000 to the jail and $30,000 to EMS.
Motion. Second.
Mrs. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Conlon?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
The next item is consider approval of annual funding request for the Marion County Youth Basketball Program.
This
That's
is
an annual contribution.
Yeah,
which is
2,500.
2,500, yeah.
Second.
Very good program.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Vogel.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
Yes.
Department reports, Jimmy's got one in there.
I need to replace some tiles. We've been putting in several tiles, and 12 of them will cost us $4,174. Need a motion on that?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Blackwell.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Vogel.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
Yes. I've got 3 guys that I've got to send to get continuous education classes on the spray license to keep, and the cost is $660. Need to send them for the first year.
Where do they go to? Where do they go to?
I got a list here, they know several places.
Oh, you can pick who you want to?
Yeah.
Motion.
Ms. Blackwell.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Vogel.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
Yes. The old boom mower out there, y'all know the transmission's been out of it, it ain't been running for a while. I've been talking to some people. And if I take the transmission out of it and let them look at it, they're gonna charge us $400 to $600 just to tell me how much it's gonna cost to fix it. I'd like to do that. A complete exchange is gonna be $9,000, but he says it probably won't be that, it won't need all of it. But it's left up to y'all, tractor, coal, whatever y'all wanna do.
Everything else on it function pretty good?
Well, it's
Old.
wore out, so it's old, but it's, I'd like to take it somewhere to see what it's left up to y'all. Y'all don't wanna spend no money on it?
You use it?
Can't get rid of it.
I mean, if you get it back with the transmission, you could use it, right?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Well, I'd say,
I'd like to still take, go ahead and look at it.
Yeah.
I know it's $400 or $600, but versus what a new one's gonna cost us. I know we're gonna spend more than that on it, but we'd at least that'll give us peace of mind whether it's worth
Guy I talked to
fixing
said
or
it might
not.
not need a pump, it might not need gears.
it could be a 50-cent O-ring.
You know, I just need to take it out, take it up there, and let them look at it.
I mean, it's,
And I won't do nothing till I come back with y'all and do it. Take y'all first.
Does this guy, have they worked on stuff for you before?
It's John Deere out of Danville.
John Deere? Okay.
What's it worth like it is?
They offered me $2,500 for it.
Maybe if it's running, it's worth a lot more than that. I mean,
Yeah, if it was running,
If
it'd
it
be
was
worth.
fixed.
It's a rough tractor, it's rough, it's old, it's, I need 6 mile, I think.
I'm a 57 mile and I still run it. I mean, you know.
It's got 80-some hundred hours on it, but whatever y'all want to do.
I think we need to
I
get,
say look at it.
you need a motion to
I guess.
Motion to take it.
Looking at stuff.
Second.
get looked at and then go from there. He'll come back to report.
I think it's at least worthwhile.
Like I said, might be over.
Yeah, could be over.
I've had it, nothing but O-ring before.
I doubt it.
Could be the whole thing.
I put,
Yeah.
Mrs. Blackwell.
I am going to say yes, and only because I've always heard a good leader surrounds themselves with better people.
thank you.
You know more about roads than I do. I mean, tractors and roads. So I'm going to trust you on this and say yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Vogel.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
No. I'm going for the 50-cent O-ring. Okay.
Anything else, Jimmy?
The box covers, I've replaced both of them in the last couple of weeks, the beach board and the rear lane with them tiles. Everything's looking good with that. I'm hoping to get this blacktop wrapped up next week or so. Everything's good with y'all.
Anybody been out Fairground Road the last couple of days, seen it looks really nice. We got another area we're gonna get cleaned up, but it looks, I mean, it looks unbelievable.
The state out there, the little subdivision my way that been having a flooding issue. Hadn't rained since then, but I think it's gonna solve, I believe that'll solve the problem. If not, then the state's gotta do something, but.
Working so far.
Working so
Yeah,
far.
it's working good now.
As long as that drought.
But this will probably take care of it. If not, we've done all we can do, and it's up to the state, so. They did a good job. The state, they helped a whole lot. So, give them credit for helping out.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank you,
You got
Jason.
anything?
You got anything, Jason? You don't need none?
Keith's not here. Barry?
You don't have a paper report because we don't have many computers working. And that's real. We had a few weeks ago, we had a virus that is known as the worm, and technical thing, it goes in and tries to capture passwords and stuff. We was able to identify it and get it eradicated and moved off the computers, and then we was moving on down a week later, and all of a sudden we having some difficulties. And this time we was hit with, the second time we was hit with a ransomware virus, which encrypts your files, and then you typically, what county and city governments and small businesses are finding themselves into is the only way you can get past it is you open up the link and they'll give you a ransom, and then you pay a ransom to get back, have access to your files. We did not take that method at all. We called Tom Pop, come in, we shut down all of our computer systems and started working with ones we could get up working, and we found out our server was affected, and it didn't affect any of our like our jail tracker or our tailmate or our commissary systems. It just affected our server, so we couldn't read those, and each one of them, these companies rely on each other to be able to read through our server. So we had to physically go to paper bookings and doing everything with paper, but it has caused a lot of unforeseen difficulties when we knock that technology out that you get so used to. And one of them is that it affected, just a few days later, it even affected our business phone lines. It has affected all the inmates' accounts where that they couldn't place money from their commissary over on their prepaid phone account, so it's affected phone calls, killed out all the commissary orders and stuff of that nature. So the routine at the jail has been quite off kilter, and it's brought anxieties up, staff, inmates. We've seen a lot more disturbance, fights and stuff with inmates. Tensions are high. They're wanting to know why they can't, see their money on their account, why they can't get phone calls. Some of our just like our tailmate phone system, we issued out three free phone calls last week. So our commissary company has been sending stuff down that we've been, getting some coffee and creamer, and tonight we're going to try to get some noodles and stuff to the guys other than what they get on their commissary. People think that, well, if you got 3 hots and a cot, what's that? It makes a lot of difference, these guys that are and gals that are incarcerated, to have those systems in place. It's part of your management. And we're still having, issues with the tensions are high. The one thing that I know that with this is that it's not just Marion County. We've heard that Taylor County Hospital was affected within the last few months, and they're trying to get themselves back up fully. We've got local businesses in Marion County that have been affected by these virus attacks and stuff. And from all aspects, what we're thinking is that it possibly come in through an email. It's kind of like what you see on your cell phone when somebody calls you with local phone numbers, and try to get something familiar to get you to answer the phone. Well, it does the same thing with it'll pick up the email and it'll send it through David Daugherty to the jail. And you got to really be careful and look at the email, look at the subject matter, and you can open an email without opening the attachments, and usually it's in the attachment that the virus will hit. So it's more likely that that's how it came into the jails, through an email. We actually had one that was identified under Gary Greenwell, who handles a lot of the orders and control, but that email went to about 7, 8 computers at the jail, and it was Gary about an invoice. And it's possibly somebody opened it up to check, see what he was sending, and that sent it out. So even since then, I think that even the judge's office has gotten an email from the jail, which his staff has already heard about the problem, and they're kind of calling and said, have you sent us an email? To make sure that they don't get hit with it as well. I spoke with Farmers Bank. Melissa Knight has offered, their technology guy has offered to at least advise us a little bit about how we move forward from this, because we do have the new server put in place. We're getting one computer every day or two, getting it back up online. So, and right now we've got 4 staff members assigned to do nothing but work with inmate accounts, so that we can try to get these accounts up and get our commissary back on order. So with that, there's a lot of costs. Right now, as of today, we calculated the cost, and we're somewhere around $17,633 is the cost to the operation. That's to date. That's not what it's going to continue, because it's going to continue to cost us as we find things that we need to fix or from it. But as I was speaking with Melissa Knight at Farmers Bank, and a lot of county and state, city governments as well as businesses hire these tech companies that have educational programs that can educate us, educate our government employees that are using the systems and stuff, how to better identify the scams that are there, try to use some better techniques. But right now, what Melissa had sent us, we kind of calculated it's like just for what we anticipate would go through training at the jail would be like $1,500 a year. So if that's truly the cost that comes down to it, it's a lot better than to be prepared. It's not going to safeguard you totally, but that's a lot of stuff going on with computers and the hacking and the viruses and stuff. But this one virus that encrypts the files is a ransom, and it's the one that locks your operation down. You can't get to your documents. Some of our documents we probably won't ever have access to them again without we didn't pay the ransom. There are some fortunate. There was no personal identification taken. None of that stuff was typical with this type of virus. So we do have some backups. That was our saving grace with our operation, is that we went back to the companies that serve us, like Jail Tracker and stuff. Jail Tracker, this started on us somewhere around September the 4th, but as we looked through the thing, Jail Tracker is thinking we was probably hit somewhere around August the 27th. So nonetheless, it's out there. I know that the Bardstown Standard, they had did an article just on September the 1st, kind of like a public announcement out there that that there was stuff going on, because we're seeing it happen in Texas, it's happening in Boston, and some of these governments are paying the ransom to get their documents back, or get access to it. But that doesn't really safeguard you, because they still have your stuff, so they're still there. So we took the avenue of just rebuilding and starting over.
Doing it a month later.
Well, we've got the server back up. and within the first 24 hours getting the server back up, we already had some of those suspicious emails had already hit our computers again.
That's what we're talking about, educating all the.
I mean, we've got to put the education out there for folks that are using the computers. I mean, and again, we're not, I mean, I've heard that Taylor County Hospital, I know we've been hit, and I've heard some businesses locally have got computers knocked out.
I've heard people negotiating the price down on their ransom.
Huh?
I've heard people negotiating their price down on their ransom.
That's true. I heard that, the Massachusetts, one of them, that the state said they wasn't gonna pay the ransom, and the feds the feds advised them to pay the ransom.
That's what the PVA is, a guy over at PVA, he said there were 6 other places he heard it had gotten hit, and that's what the state advised not to, and they came in.
Said don't pay it.
And the Fed.
We didn't. We're relying on trying to pull our backup information, and we just disregarded the server and started over, rebuilt, and then trying to take our backups. Now we've spending a lot of staff time in trying to put stuff in from the time we're down, from the 27th of August up to now, to get all of our records back up to date. But it is, I mean, again, and it's not just the thing, it's the cost that we're already seeing, where it's already costing our budget. It's going to cost our budget. We're already, 17,633, and that's not a done number. That's still going to, our cost is still going on. I'm just hoping that we can have our accounts portion of our operation back up, so that the friends and family and the inmates can start their a regular course of communication, because they rely on those accounts to be in place for that stuff to happen. So it's been quite a hectic week.
There's been another similar, but not, people might have noticed a lot of businesses, their phone calls have been dropping out.
Yep.
Well, the phone company had an issue. I know Windstream was some kind of trunking thing. For once, and I don't know, I've had like 6 or 8 calls the last couple of weeks. Now, they think they've got it fixed, but they were dropping calls, you'd be talking, you just go away. And then they had an issue with long distance, it wasn't going through. It was 2 separate problems, but when they're fixing one, they ran across the other one. They're pretty sure they got the long distance thing solved. It was in some trunks like MCI's, something somewhere else. But the dropping calls, I got a call today from another business in town, it's City Water Company. They've been doing it yesterday, but they're supposed to check if it's happening anymore. But if you got phone calls, and that makes you think some kind of virus to do with that, but it was actually equipment, there's a problem in there, something. And they're aware of it, and they thought they had it fixed, but I'm not sure that they do, but it's...
I think it would be, for us as a county government, I think we need to look at it for all of our computer users, for our whole government, because, I mean, it's there, it has happened. I mean, it's already got our entity. I think it's something that we should look into, and investing into some training and some ongoing assistance with all of our staff that have computer access and use them. I mean, it could parallel, I mean, there's stuff that if you don't have hard copies and you rely on it, it's completely gone. I mean, if you can't get access to it, especially your desktop stuff.
You mentioned jail tracker. Is this being shared with law enforcement that are using jail tracker times?
The jail tracker was not affected.
It was not affected?
No, none of our companies, none of the companies that service, all of them were not affected. It was just our server that puts them together and reads the information.
If anyone is doing, emailing you or anything, they will always
no, I would think it's like everything, we ought to be cautionary on everything we open or it's kind of like we talked about bloodborne, you say universal, this is universal cyber approach. We've got to take cautionary with our electronic devices. It's just kind of like the day and age we're in right now. So it's scary And you was there when the tensions were high the other day,
I
weren't
was
you?
there.
You got to see it firsthand, jail 101.
Bill 101.
Yeah, so it was, I just think we ought to, as a government, look at doing some, taking attention to it and trying to invest in some training.
That training be something like a universal, like somebody would come here, would go to each place, or
They would work with
do it
every
online.
individual user. I mean, I think they would do workshops here, they do it at jail, EMS, they would do it at every user. Actually, the company that Farmers Bank is using is No B4. Known B4. It's, Known B4. So, I mean, that's the company they sent me the information on that they use. And I'm sure there's other companies, but it's probably, I'm confident that they've done some research as well on what's out there. So, and they're willing to help advise us.
That's good.
So you try to get some numbers and see if we can put it back out for the court to, hopefully the next one we can.
Be worth looking at.
look into it anyway.
So we probably just need to find out from every agency judge about how many users we have is what I'll need.
Mary, thank you. Anything else?
I would.
That's
Yeah.
just, bear with us.
Always something, man.
Oh my goodness.
It's always something.
You got it under control. We got it.
Tony Robbie's not here. You got anything?
That's a package for everybody. First thing is requesting to hire Daniel Carlson as a part-time paramedic.
It won't be in the retirement system, it says. Motion.
Mrs. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Bubble?
Yes.
Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
What about the ambulance that was bad? Did they get it solved or fixed, or?
Part of it.
We got part of it, we're putting a air conditioner on it right now.
As far as the report goes, for the month of August, 247 runs. 74% of those were transports, 26 were non-transports. And it looks like the busiest day, around 4 o'clock as far as the hour, and it looks like on Thursdays, it's the busiest day.
Thank you, thanks, John.
Not here. We did have emergency services meeting the other night. I guess we got training. When's the fire training? When's that?
There's a gas line emergency from KU and LGE. It's going to be October the 2nd at 6 p.m. the 3rd floor of this building. And then we set another date, having another meeting just right before the
Fire school.
right before the fire school, and that the Wednesday following that, so that'd be the 9th, I think, October the 9th.
When did you say the gas line training?
It's October the 2nd, 6 p.m.
It's like gas on training. Sorry to ask, but is that for everybody or just firefighters?
That's for everybody. She's a KU LGE, and a lot of their stuff, she's not so much on the big transmission lines, but it's more like in the neighborhoods, the small service going to individual homes, and kind of breaks down to like how effective and like when you cut off and like when you do, like if they have to cut off, it cuts off a whole block and each house has to be inspected before it cuts back on. It's a lot of good informational stuff.
Scott, did you find out that ISO class was going to be,
I haven't got a response back to it. It seems like they're on the,
they're trying to offer a class at the fire school where it possibly could be continuing education hours, but it's talking about ISO ratings and how to improve them. So it's a 8-hour day on the Saturday of the week of the fire training school. So
that'd be good.
that'd be something else that we might want to look at doing.
The big gas lines, like, well, where I live especially, there's 4 within 500 foot of my house, all 4 of them run right through there. Then there's one goes over by the rock quarry. There's 5 goes through out, across the river and goes through out in there. And but they're always sending information about them. But then these last 2 years, they've been around running all these private lines, putting everybody's meters at the house and upgrading them. And
they're redoing High Street right now. They're going all the way down it, tearing it all the way out. So.
But it's, she's been here a couple times and she called me to request to come back and it's pretty eye-opening.
Because out there, a lot of them had a meter way down the field and they put all the meters at the house. And if you've got some kind of, they'll fix everything and they'll pay for everything to fix it all, but then if you've got an issue after that, they'll turn the meter off and you'll have to get it fixed before you can get your gas turned back on. So had run to a few of those items, but it's for safety. You get it fixed and they'll turn it right back. They don't charge, they'll come out anytime and turn it back on, but it's, they will turn it off if you've got a problem, don't fix it.
That's good. All right, anybody else got anything on emergency management? Animal control, okay?
I should have some papers in the packet on some things like
Do we need a motion for her to do that? I'll make the motion that she order her supplies.
Second.
Yes.
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 See where you found a few things online cheaper, it looks like, and
I always try to find the cheapest.
yeah, same product, but you can just get it certain places cheaper, so.
Some of it's stuff that we're actually ordering, but I found it on Amazon for like half price, so now you get 2 for 1, it's still one you don't need, so kind of makes sense for the way it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything else all right?
Air conditioner working?
Yeah, we're still watching it though, still I can run it, but it's working.
Working.
$2, I guess you got there.
Thank you, Kay. Elizabeth?
Everything's going good at the Career Center. Our computer's working. We haven't had any issues. We've even sent a few emails to the jail and not had, I don't think they got them, but we didn't have any issues.
Unless you call us.
So yeah, we've learned, hey, they're not gonna answer us, we need to give them a call. So the phone system is working great at the jail and at the Career Center, so we're good on that.
Career Center comes into a lot of money, we know where this ransom comes from.
I didn't send any emails prior to the process, so I did not do that. None of us here today. The reason why I was asking about this training, and I don't know if you all remember that Jessica Pickett was here not too long ago, talking about the safe communities, and you all had helped with some of the application process. I'm on that committee, and we're still gathering the information to apply to be a safe community. So any safety things that we've got going on, we're trying to build it into there so that we can become a safe community. And I know probably what they've been talking about with the needle exchange is also something that would help add to that. So I've been talking with some of the industries about some safety stuff, and everybody's got their own division of which we're compiling that. So that information will be good to have for the application. Any questions for me?
Good. Y'all busy?
Still jobs, plenty of jobs?
Still got plenty of jobs. We are busy working on Manufacturing Day, which we're working on that with our partners, so we're glad to be partnering with the school systems and economic development, and we've got other partners too, so we've been working hard on those.
Very good.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next item is old business and new business. Anybody got anything?
New business, I'd like to be able to use $100 of my money to buy some pizza for that training, up to $100.
Is that for the
The LG,
LG, yeah.
On covered,
LG.
I think.
I think.
I don't remember how many was there last. It was.
Well, it's probably, I expect probably up to maybe 20.
Should cover it there.
Yeah.
Motion, or did you make?
Yeah, motion.
Second.
Mrs. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Conlon?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Anybody else have anything?
Pay some bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Did they, do you want to send in enough employees? Nothing? All right.
Did you hire four?
I think she had one, she was gonna move from part-time to full-time, but I'll check with her.
I know I swore some in the other day. I don't know if they,
No, that was all part-time.
okay.
For a deputy on part-time to full-time, who'd you have? Francis Heck, from part-time to full-time. 32 already, Yeah, he's already on insurance and stuff, but he was just hired to. Yes. Yes.
We need a motion on that.
I mean, if you can, I know we didn't, I thought she had it on the agenda.
Motion to move, what's his name, Francis?
Francis Heck, he's a 36, he'd go to 40.
Move from 36 to 40 hour,
Full-time.
full-time.
Second.
Yes. Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Barry.
You better.
Anybody else got anything?
That's it. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you all.